4-H is growing the next generation of leaders.
You gotta be pretty close to that mic too.
Support us at 4h.org.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of AM Minnesota. It's indeed a pleasure to have with us Kristen Twitchell. We were planning on having her on sooner than today, but that didn't work out, so I'm glad today did.
I am too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. We wanted to get to know Kristen. She's the new executive director, relatively new, of the Paradisde Center for the Arts. You were hired in July, started part-time, and were full-time in August.
That's correct. I've had about 1 month to really get things going and understand the organization.
Are you feeling better about things, or?
Absolutely, but there's a lot to learn, so I'm excited to keep learning new stuff and get to know more about what's happening there.
Let's get a little of your background, please.
Absolutely. So I've been in nonprofit work for about 20 years. I started primarily working in youth and young adult program development. Got an early start with the YMCA as a lifeguard and aquatics director, and then switched over to working with children and youth and young adults. From there, most recently, I served as director of leadership at Good Earth Village in Spring Valley, Minnesota. And now I'm at the Paradisde, so I'm excited to take that nonprofit background here to the Paradisde. But my education background's actually in fine arts.
Yeah, I grew up in Spring Valley.
Oh, you did? Yeah. So you probably know Good Earth Village.
I thought I told you the story about when I was a kid. We got caught. We met some young ladies, and when I was a teenager, and they invited us back to their campsite, and they evidently told some counselors, and they chased us out of the park.
I hope that doesn't happen there anymore, but I'm sure that's not the only time that's happened in that camp's history.
I think it was very innocent, but it's kind of funny at the time.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I've ever run that fast in my life.
Well, they run the kids there, but maybe not for that reason.
No, but it is a great place, Good Earth Village.
They are, yep.
Yep. So you decided to take this position partly because?
Well, I was excited with a background in fine arts to get to take that nonprofit background and my fine arts education and merge them together. So I get teased a lot that I'm finally using that graduate degree I got 20 years ago.
Yeah, this is the dream job that you always wanted.
Absolutely.
And it worked out because didn't your husband get a job in the cities or something?
Yes, his job actually changed. He was working remotely, and then he got a promotion which required him to be in Minneapolis, so he was commuting from Stewartville.
Oh my, that
was a 2-hour commute each way, and we decided we needed to get closer. Had already landed on Northfield as a potential place to live, and then this job worked out, so I really lucked out with the shorter commute.
Yeah, you did. So he goes to Minneapolis from Northfield, you come here.
Absolutely, yes.
From Northfield each day. And you are there 5 days a week, or if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
At the Paradisde, well, our regular hours are Tuesdays through Saturdays to be open from noon to 5, and then we're open late on Thursdays till 8. Generally, I'm there Monday through Friday from about 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Plus, I try and get to all of our shows and performances.
Did you go to Saturdays?
I absolutely did.
And how did that go?
Oh, it was amazing. It was the first time I had actually seen folks dancing down in front. A great crowd, great energy. Gary Rue and the Sensational Sleepers were just fantastic. So it was really fun to hear all that British music and all those folks singing along to it.
Were you shocked when you came here to find out we have professional theater in Faribault?
I was. Actually, I had not seen the Paradisde, been in the building until I took the job. So both to see the space, and then my first production I got to see here was The Little Mermaid, to a sold-out house every night, and that was really awe-inspiring. We had several folks tell us that they saw The Little Mermaid up in the cities and thought our production was just as good.
That is awesome.
So that's a huge, thanks to the Paradisde Community Theater and Eric Parrish and Kathy Rush who pulled that one off.
And then professional theater troupe Merlin players this weekend, Harriet the Spy.
Yes, so I'm excited to get to see their performance. Another great opportunity for theater here in the Faribault area.
That's this weekend and next weekend. And of course you have the visual arts too with the KDHL Power 96 gallery there.
Yes, and we thank you all for supporting that. Right now we have the Somali Museum in Minnesota with both art and cultural items, and we invite our community to come out and see that. And then opening on September 23rd is a local artist out of Rochester, and I'm going to pull up his name so I don't get it wrong. It is C. Anthony Huber, along with David Roars, who will be in there, and then our Bethlehem Academy students will also have art coming up.
That'll be awesome, I think. Well, we're going to take a little break here, come back, and then we'll visit some more with Kristen, a little bit about her background, her vision of the future for the Paradise Center for the Arts. I always call it Faribault's not so hidden gem is the Paradise Center for the Arts, the Riverbend Nature Center, I call our hidden market report, courtesy of the KDHL Agri Boosters, including Ag Power Enterprises, your John Deere dealer. They have locations in Owatonna, Belle Plaine, Hollandale, and Northwood and Osage, Iowa. Also, Northland Buildings for quality post-frame construction. Go to the website northlandbuildings.com. northlandbuildings.com. Our guest this morning is Kristen Twitchell. Did I pronounce that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
She is the Executive Director of the Paradise Center for the Arts. Of course, Julie Faulkner is the Director of Operations, right?
Yep, that's what Julie does.
That's a little different structure, is it, or?
Yes, because we are a smaller organization, smaller staff, so she takes care of the education programs, the visual arts, and then I'll be in kind of the stuff related to the building, and then I work on the performances and meet with the board, the theater groups, and that side of the organization.
Fundraising. Maybe
Yes, absolutely, fundraising. That's an area we've really been struggling this past year in all the transitions, and so we would encourage folks to step up their giving and help us out. We want to be there, not just, as you said, we want to be a real gem and not just a slightly hidden one, and we need that help.
Yeah.
Our donors.
Well, I'm amazed at the regional draw that the Paradise has. I'm sure you're very well aware that a lot of people come, especially from the South Metro.
Yes, actually, for our Church of Cash performance, there were folks who came down from the cities. I met folks from Rochester, and that's one of my goals and hopes is really to place us as a regional center for the arts. It is that gem here in Faribault, but I want other folks to come and experience like I did. Be wowed when they walk in the door and surprised that Faribault has this amazing performing arts center.
And just think, well, you were in Spring Valley, which is not too far from Lanesboro.
Correct.
Where they have really blossomed since embracing their arts in downtown Lanesboro,
Yes,
right?
They have, and so that's, I think, a great model to look at for Faribault and see what other areas of art we can bring into our community here.
We have many of the same features. We have great bike trails here.
Yes, within the nature center, the river, lots of the similar features. And so I think you're right, that would be a great opportunity for us to capitalize on.
Terrific eating establishments not far from the Paradise.
Yeah, recently I heard a young adult who had moved back to Faribault call himself a foodie and say that's one of the things he really likes about being back, even though he'd been in the metro, is all the opportunity for food choices here. So people really can think about what's it like to go and have dinner and a show like you would in Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Yeah, you'll get more details about the food in Faribault at the Taste of Faribault this Thursday.
I'm excited for that.
No, who doesn't like food?
I know.
I mean, there aren't too many people that don't like food.
Especially when you can go one place and sample all of it.
And that's what the Paradise, I mean the Chambers Taste of Faribault will be like this Thursday down at the Faribault American Legion. You can get your tickets out at the Chamber in advance and save some money too.
And fairly soon you may be able to get those at the Paradise. Not for this year, but we're actually going to be a downtown tourist stop for the Chamber. They've really been working with us to help as we draw more folks downtown, and we're going to have a Chamber/tourist spot right at the Paradise.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I would assume that, assuming things gets dangerous sometimes, but I would assume they were able to go to the Barbecue Arts Festival here in Faribault in August.
That who was able?
The Blue Collar.
Oh, the Blue Collar
Arts
Barbecue.
Fest.
Yes, that was fantastic. We had over 5,000 folks. Lots and lots of music. Great stage time, lots of art vendors. That was my first Blue Collar Barbecue, so it was a lot of fun. I spent most of my time over by the stage, but I did get to walk through the vendors and the children's area, and that's another place we're going to take a look at more ways to get folks moving and the traffic flowing around all the great opportunities that the Blue Collar brings.
Yeah.
In addition to the awesome music.
It grows.
Yes, that's my understanding. It's been growing every year.
Every year it's been growing. In fact, it's probably overtaken our annual celebration, Heritage Days, which is held in June.
Okay.
In terms of, just big crowds and that sort of thing. So I wanted to get a little bit of your vision, if I could, Kristen. And I know you're only a month into the job, so
Yes.
this may not be totally fair, but you probably have been thinking about how you can grow membership and that sort of thing.
Yes, I have. One of the things that we are looking at is we have a great audience base and membership base, but I'll be honest, they're a certain age and over probably, and we are greatly appreciative of their dedication, and they're at our shows and they come to our theater performances, but we really need to take a look at our millennials and the young adults and think about what can we be doing differently to get younger folks in the door so the Paradise is around 20, 30, 40 years from now.
Are
So
they
that's
interested, you think?
I think so. I think we may have to do things differently. We were going to probably shake some things up, try some different things. I'm really also looking at how we use our space differently. I think we have a great place in downtown Faribault. I'd love to see some more businesses and organizations have meetings in our space. We're actually bringing in the Main Street group. They're going to do a regional workshop there, and their workshop leaders happen to be tactical artists who kind of help businesses and particularly downtown businesses think of creative ways, and they're going to do a workshop right in our gallery space. And so it's what do we have and how can we get different people through our doors and expand our membership base and the concert theater base as well.
Is there a danger of losing some of the clientele you have now because, you know, we're hinting that it's an older membership, right?
Yes, it is.
So they're probably not as adept to change, not as open to change.
That's true, but one of the things we discovered is we haven't always been good partners with them either. We put one of our top kind of favorite music groups in February when a lot of those folks are snowbirds. So it's also taking a look at our schedule and
sure.
saying, okay, well, let's make sure we have those shows and that music and those theater slots. That's our bread and butter. Obviously, we're not getting rid of that. But what are some things we can bring in on a Thursday night when that wouldn't normally conflict and make sure we're still keeping folks like Gary Rue, and we've got a Springsteen tribute coming up, that kind of music that draws in those folks, as well as think of some more acoustic style things that we could do, more of a coffee house vibe that wouldn't detract from what we're already offering, but would give us some new folks coming in and new opportunities.
Yeah, that might be a little more intimate too.
Yes. Not in the big theater, which we can seat over 280 folks in, but something more in our gallery. And I want to think that lobby's beautiful. It's based on Moroccan courtyard, and to bring folks and use that lobby and use our space that's right there when you walk in the door is a great, I think, opportunity for growth for us and expansion.
You're right, there is a lot of space there.
So, and that's one of the things we're looking at is a space analysis. I want to take a look at our family programming. We offer it, but our attendance is low, so what can we do to get more families in the door? We have the Theater 4 program, which the Ball Family Foundation supports, that brings all the elementary school kids through our doors, but what are we doing to reach out to those parents and get them back for our productions like Harriet the Spy and Little Mermaid, and then we have Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe coming up too. We've got great family theater, just reaching out and getting those families back through our doors.
Yeah, well, you did mention that Little Mermaid was a sellout every
Yes, it was. And we also drew regionally. There were lots of Faribault children and youth and adults in that, but there were also folks from the surrounding area, and that's going to be true with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That has more than 25 kids participating from the surrounding area. So that's also part of that identity as a regional arts center and not just local.
Yep, that's the beauty of Merlin Players too. They have people from all over the region.
Yes, they do, and that gives us that pull out of Owatonna and the fact that folks know them and come see them. So that's another place we need to tap into and really think of how are we really utilizing the gifts we already have and what's our best of, and really tap into that, and then where can we improve and what new things can we bring to the Paradise.
And the idea here, the philosophy is it should help grow businesses downtown too.
Absolutely. That's part of what the Main Street event is. That's why we're partnering both with the city and with the chamber to be that tourist spot where folks can come and really want to see downtown Faribault grow. I was struck when I came here at what a gem Faribault is. I think a lot of folks kind of stop at Northfield. We're familiar with it. I didn't realize just 10 miles down the road was another beautiful historic river town that's equal in size, and I think we have the best arts venue in the region.
Yeah.
So let's capitalize on it, and I'd love to see businesses partner with us and think more about how they can use the Paradise and how we can help support what they're doing.
And those who enjoy history know that Faribault has more buildings on the National Register of Historic Places than any place other than St. Paul
I know.
in the state.
And that is something I think a lot of folks don't know. We chose to stay in southeastern Minnesota. We really like it, and we needed to get closer to the cities for my husband's work. But I think southeastern Minnesota itself is a little bit of a hidden gem for all those folks that go north, and the fact that there's a lakes community right here, a historic downtown, the river and nature opportunities, and great arts. We need to get that word out, and I'm excited at what the Chamber and Nort Johnson are doing to begin promoting that and working with them too.
And you don't have to live in that city's rat race.
That is true. We did it for 9 years, and so we're glad to, well, for me, that I can get to my kids' school and back in less than 10 minutes. So.
And that was probably part of the reason why you did what you did, right?
Yes, as we wanted to step out of that. We actually were in Minneapolis, and then we were in the Charlotte area for 5 years. And so we just wanted that little slower pace. I think a lot of people choose.
Big city.
Yes.
I'm sure, and of course I never went to a big city school, but I would assume that's easier on the kids too.
Well, it depends on our, I think our oldest one who's at home, who's 13, it was an easier transition. I think our 10-year-old is actually going to like being in a bigger school. He likes the opportunity for some different challenges and, I don't know, what do they call them, electives. So it's a balance depending on your kids. But we're excited that we're in this area. I think it's a nice mix of size. It's not as small as Stewartville, but we're not in one of those big suburbs where it takes forever to get around.
Right. Well, Stewartville's growing too, you know.
Yes,
basically,
it is.
It's a suburb of Rochester.
Yes, it is.
Is it 9 miles between the two?
Yeah, and we were on the north side, so I joked I could still make it to Target in 10 minutes or less.
Well, there
so.
you go.
I guess that's the quality of a suburb, right?
There you go. Yeah. Again, our guest is Kristen Twitchell. She's the executive director of the Paradise Center for the Arts here in downtown Faribault. So how'd you learn about the Paradise?
I was looking for a nonprofit management job. I had stepped away while my husband's job was transitioning because our life was chaotic with his commute, and was just on some different nonprofit job boards and saw the Paradise and thought the job opportunity looked amazing, but actually was hesitant to apply initially because my nonprofit management experience wasn't specifically in the arts, although a lot of the programming I've done has involved arts because of my background. In fact, at Good Earth Village, we had launched a couple of new arts camps while I was there. And then I just kept feeling like I need to just apply, and was really excited when I got to meet Chris Nelson and Nort Johnson and some of the other board members, and as they shared more about the Paradise, was thrilled at the opportunity to take that position and really think about, as I said before, what we're doing well and what are the other opportunities. I think there is just a wealth of opportunities with the Paradise. Right now we're not doing anything with the literary arts, and that's my background, and thinking of what is it like to kind of maybe model some stuff after the Loft in Minneapolis. It's a long drive for people down here to get up to Minneapolis. They want to take a class at the Loft. So we've got, I mean, there are some great writers in southeastern Minnesota. One of them right here in Faribault. That was one of my former professors. So John Reinhardt teaches at South Central College. He's a Minnesota Voices project winner and local, well-known writer right here. And so there's other writers in southeastern Minnesota I would love for us to tap into.
Speaking of writing, you like to write some poetry, right?
I do write poetry. That's my background. The joke in my family was I should keep my lifeguarding current because they just don't employ a lot of poets out there.
No, that's true. They don't. But I kind of like to dabble in a little poetry myself.
Oh, awesome.
So it's
Yes.
kind of neat to meet a fellow poet.
Absolutely. Sort of. I'd love to meet some more in the area. That's one of the other hopes for me personally, is getting back in the arts. I started out by teaching college and discovered teaching 4 to 5 sections of freshman comp doesn't leave you a lot of time to write when you're grading that many papers. And then got this, idea that maybe if I did nonprofit youth work, I'd have more time to write. Well, that was 20 years ago, and I'm still working on my first book.
Oh, you are.
So that's just the joys of nonprofit work. But I'm excited to be in the arts and really think just being around artists again, both our actors and our visual artists, have already inspired me to do some writing again. So that's exciting for me. And I think there's other folks who are like that. I like to see how arts merge, how visual arts and literary arts and the theater arts and our music performances, how we can merge those together.
And the galleries down there
Yes. So
are terrific.
They are fantastic. I think a lot of folks don't even realize that we have galleries in there. And the Carlander Gallery, I feel like it's like stepping into a section of the Walker or the MIA in Minneapolis. It's that well done, and you get that feel when you're in it that this is truly a gallery. And that's one thing I encourage your listeners to think about is we are open and we have a gift shop and a gallery. Come see our space. We want you to stop in, look at the theater, see the beauty and the architecture of the lobby, and visit our galleries and stop by the gift shop. We're open to the public because we want them not just to walk in and buy tickets. Now we want you to buy tickets, but we also want you to come see the space and enjoy the visual arts, as well as take some classes. You can take pottery, you can take painting classes. There's lots of opportunities.
And there's no grading of this either. I've had
no grading.
friend of mine said, well, I don't know if I want to take that because I'm not very good. And I said, it doesn't matter. If you want to learn how to do pottery, you can go just learn how to do pottery. They don't worry about how good you are.
Absolutely. So there's opportunities whether you're a first timer or an experienced artist. Diane Lockerbie right here in Faribault started as a student, and now she's one of our teachers and has phenomenal art in our gift shop. And so that could, a listener out there, that they could be the next Diane and really just take a class and discover a passion that they have, and that her passion's been pottery.
Might learn how to make your own jewelry.
Yes, jewelry. There's we had recently with pottery a raku firing, which requires you to be outside with special heat gear. They did an iron pour with a sheet metal and iron, so really creative stuff in addition to more traditional painting and the pottery classes on the wheel.
So the kids have to come through your facility, if I'm hearing you right?
Well, the elementary schools, the Ball Family Foundation, we bring in an organization called Theater 4 that works with children and does theater productions, and then they'll put on a mini play, and then they will do a little workshop and tell the kids about theater and invite them to be involved in theater. So almost all the elementary schools, I believe, come through that program. And then in addition, I'm sorry, I'm new enough. I know it's the Lutheran school, but I don't remember. Is it Trinity Lutheran?
Mm-hmm.
Their school, they actually come and do art classes as well. So we don't feel like we're forcing them. We feel like it's a great opportunity. And then we do theater camps as well, and we're looking to expand those opportunities for children around theater and offer some school year programming, and we already offer art classes for children.
Yeah, it's actually the Faribault Lutheran School.
Faribault, thank you, Faribault Lutheran School.
Trinity, and now they're together as Faribault Lutheran School.
Okay.
That's okay.
Still learning the community names here.
Of course. Actually, you did very well.
Well,
some
thank
people
you.
probably wouldn't even know there was a Lutheran school here in town.
Well, I drive right by it sometimes on my way to work, so I know between that and Bethlehem Kennedy, the STEM schools, Nurse Strand, and then all the public elementary schools come out for our
the
theater
Discovery
for.
School here and the public schools. I mean, we have a great choice in education. Shattuck up on the
Yes,
east
you
side,
do.
the school for the blind, the school for the deaf. I mean, educational opportunities in this community are better than most places.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the academies. We actually provide for all of our Paradise Community Theater events. They are all ASL signed, and so for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it'll be our Thursday performance. And so we hope those students, and if they have parents visiting, will come and enjoy getting to see that production, because we are able to do signing, and we can even do I'm just learning the names, but it's audio inscribing too, if folks need additional assistance. So there's great opportunities for folks to experience theater.
The facility itself, you think it's adequate? The Paradise Center for the Arts?
I
Does
think-
that need to be modernized, or what do you think?
I think that's a great question. That's one of the opportunities we have. I would love to see the Varnish, I'm sorry, I'm going to kill that name. It's our other gallery.
At Lois Vanish?
Yeah, Vanish. There you go. That gallery also operates as a boardroom for us, or meeting space, and the gallery part is beautiful. We need to do some updates to make it a better meeting space for groups that want to come in.
I mean, it's kind of a delicate balance because it is a historic building,
Correct.
so you don't want to modernize it too much.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
correct. But our main floor, I think, is in beautiful condition. There's always some improvements we can make, but it's a wow factor when you walk in. I would love to see our upstairs and downstairs have that space be more usable and utilized by doing some improvements both upstairs and downstairs so we can get more folks from the community, provide more classes. I think there's some great opportunity for us to expand the current space we have and maybe revision how we're using it.
Sure. But again, you need to raise some funds in order to do all
Yes,
this.
we do. We definitely need some funds. Our marquee is awesome. You can see it whenever you're downtown Faribault, all lit up, but if you look too closely, you'll see there's some cracks in the kind of the white place behind the letters. We have some updates we need to do on that second floor, and so yes, we are really looking for people to step up their giving and make sure Paradise, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary as the Paradise Center for the Arts.
Well, that's right. That's next year.
Yes, and so we really want folks to think of the Paradise long term because I can't imagine what downtown would be like without the Paradise.
Yeah, me too. And it's only been around for, like you say, 10 years. She gonna have a big birthday bash next
I
year?
sure hope we are. Absolutely. Who doesn't love a good birthday party?
Of course. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yes,
It'll be
we
a lot
will.
of fun.
And also honor I love telling the story of how many folks had an opera house in the 1800s in a city this size, and so just that history that the Paradise has. But I hope 100 years from now, they're still telling our history, and so
Yeah.
we need folks to really support us and become members or just send us a check, figure out how they can help. And we're also always looking for volunteers. We have over 2,000 hours of volunteers that go into making that place run, since we're a very small staff.
Memberships.
So we have family memberships, and they are $75 a family, and then we have an individual membership for $50, and I believe our senior membership is $40. You get great discounts on tickets and classes. You get preview notification of what's coming up, and plus you get to support the Paradise Center for the Arts. And ultimately, I think that's one of the most important things we can do as a community. Partly why I took the job you were asking before is I think art and culture are core to having a healthy, thriving community. And Faribault has a great opportunity, a great commitment. I would love to see that expanded.
Remember, you can purchase tickets online now. At the
Yes,
Paradise.
we are. We just finally moved into that part of the world is we have online ticketing and you can purchase tickets.
Not the Merlin players.
Not the Merlin players, that is correct.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out. But you can purchase any Paradise Community Theater tickets, any concerts, any comedian kind of events. That can all be done online, or you can still be old school and call the box office or come on in.
Yeah, and I think the Merlin players will probably move that route, not too distant future too. It's
Yeah.
just so convenient to be
Yes,
able
it
to
is.
get your tickets online.
It is, definitely. ParadiseCenterForTheArts.org, and you can click right there and it'll take you right to where you purchase tickets.
Thanks, Kristen. Certainly look forward to visiting with you. Hopefully this will be more of a monthly basis. That'd be awesome.
I would love for that, Gordy. Thank you.
Yeah. Kristen Twitchell, the Executive Director of the Paradise Center for the Arts. You're in tune to KDHL AM Faribault, Minnesota.